So this next test is the lower back endurance test. And unlike some of the other musculoskeletal tests, this one actually has a screening protocol. So to begin, I would ask Clara if she has any lower back issues. However, I would still do the screening test even if she said no. And so the screening test will, Clara's going to lay down on her stomach. And she's going to begin by just individually lifting one leg at a time at first, no arms involved. And I would ask, do you have any pain in your lower legs or in your back, sorry, when you do that? All right, and then I'll ask her to do opposite arm and leg. So let's say, there you go. Any pain? All right, and the other side, any pain? Perfect. So that's typically your indication that they'd be fine. Obviously, somebody might still have a lower back issue even if it wasn't flagged by this test. So it's once again important to let Clara know that at any point if she doesn't feel comfortable or if she doesn't want to do this test, that's totally in her right to not proceed. But let's assume that she's agreed to proceed with the test. What you'll then do is grab the mat. Perfect. Put it on the bench. And here you'll actually get somebody else to assist you. So Lynn's come down to help us out, which is great. So Clara's going to lay down, face down, and we're actually going to line her up with the edge of the bench. So you notice how the mat is not overlapping the edge of the bench. It's perfectly lined up with the edge. And I'm actually, with Clara's permission, going to palpate the superior edge of the iliac crest. And once I find that, that's what I want lined up with the edge of the bench. So I'll actually get her to back up just an inch. There you go. Perfect. Right? If the bench was too far up, then the test is too easy for your client. I've seen clients that had the bench like almost at the start of their thigh, which means there's way more weight hanging over. It's much too hard. So to standardize it, we're palpating for that iliac crest to try and make it even. And so because this is a muscular endurance test, what's going to happen is when Clara's ready, she's going to lift her arms and cross them across her chest, and she's going to hold her back at a straight level for as long as she can. Right? Lynn is there to provide support. Right now she's holding by the back of the ankles. Sometimes clients prefer the back of the thighs. The one thing we don't want to do is put the support on the back of the knees because that could lead to further injuries and complications. My job as tester is I'm trusting that my assistant is supporting the client. I'm really going to be in this position, timing the test to see how long she can support this position, but also to make sure her back is flat. Right? If she starts to dip, I'm going to correct her once. If I have to correct her a second time, the test is terminated. A lot of times, clients tend to overcompensate and they arch it backwards, in which case you readjust them back down, but that's not a termination criteria. They're just trying to overcompensate because they can't tell how flat they are. The other thing you'll want to notice is that right now, Clara's got a perfect neutral spine. Clients tend to often look up. So Clara, if you want to look at the far wall, they'll try and do that during the test, which creates quite a bit of strain on the back of the neck. So remind them to look face down. And the other thing is just to remind them that if at any point they want to stop, they can. They can just put their hands down. That's how we'll know the test is done. This test can be quite trying as a client, so you'll do want to provide support and encouragement throughout and make sure they're doing okay. So if there's no other questions, Clara, you're okay to go? All right. Lynn, you've got the support. So whenever you're ready, you can lift your arms. And I'll start the stopwatch. So you see right now she's got that flat back, neutral spine. Everything's looking great. And this is really going to be testing the endurance of the lower back. However, you do want to mention to your clients contracting the core muscles will typically help as well. Might make it a little bit less stressful on the lower back. How do you feel, Clara?
Good.
Perfect. Just keep breathing in and out. You're doing great. Position is great. Now we'll see, for example, Clara, if you want to just start dipping a little bit. At this point, I'd say, all right, just raise up a little bit less. Perfect. That would be your warning. If you dip one more time, I'll have to terminate the test. And then let's say she's had enough. She can just put her hands down, and that would be the end of the test.